don't. Don't. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we gonna give a little history to the people real fast. Hope everybody having a good day. Boom, boom. Yeah. Yeah. Just getting my notes together. And we starting, brother. Yep. Yeah, we gonna share it with them too. Yeah, I'm gonna share it with everybody. Yeah, I got you. Let me double check though. I'm about to check. Hold on. Cause I was getting all my notes together before everybody jumped on. I just on here a little early. Right. Uh, hold on. Let me see something. Let me see if I can get it on there for you before I start. You still here? Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me get it set. Before I start, you still here? Give me 1 second. Let me get it set. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. Can you hear it? Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm sending it now. Okay. Okay. Yep, I got a couple more minutes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Blue Lotus. Yeah, I have it. Right, I have it. Hold on. I'll tell you. I'm about to tell you now. finna tell you right now. Yep. Yeah, I know somebody that grow 'em in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is though. Yep. It's blue. Yeah, it's blue. Yep. And you can get it in the mail, but I'll let you know when everything come, and I'll have it for you. But yeah, we gonna go live. Actually, I'm on now, just finishing my notes. I was waiting for a couple of my muftis, but I just recorded, just let it be there, cause I'm gonna be done with this in a minute. Just on my temple page. Yep, I'll be there for the graduation. Yep, I'll be there. I'm in Michigan right now. Okay. All right. Peace, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, I got you. Got you. All right, all right, all right. Hope everybody had a great productive day at their job or whatever you do to get that bag. I hope it was productive, and I hope you work smart, not hard, because the only thing hard workers get is more work. So I hope you work smart with your mind, and I hope you figure everything out to make you a boss and make you a master of your own destiny. I hope everything you touch manifest to what you wanted. I hope everything in your essence just magnifies life a hundredfold. I hope your family be blessed. I hope everybody in the world touch the things that they want to touch. I hope families come back together and reunite. Mothers and daughters reunite. Fathers and sons reunite. I just want to give out some positive vibrations, but I also want to teach our brothers and sisters. We must. I had a long conversation with one of my old professors because I'm in my city because I went to a community college first. I went to a community college called Mott Community College, and I had a professor. Her name was Beverly Blysav, and this was a European Albion Tradite woman, whatever you want to call her, and she knew more about misnomer African American history than anybody I ever met, besides my dad. I'm just being honest. But she said something to me in my early academic endeavor, when I was learning who I was and who God was to me. This European lady said, "Isn't it ironic that a lot of your people don't even know about scholars that wrote in history like J.A. Rogers, Ivan Van Sertima, Sheikh Anta Diop, Amos Wilson? Isn't it ironic that, oh, Dr. Ben, I can name much, much more, Hubert Harris, Dr. Turner." And she said, "Isn't it ironic that none of your people know about them? And then Europeans try to discredit their wisdom, but the Europeans, even the Negroes, already been proven wrong." People be trying to discredit our scholars in academia. That's why I said I have all tapes from before we was even born of Dr. Ben, Ivan Van Sertima, John Henry Clark, you know, Sheikh Anta Diop, with a lot of ladies was having, one of his students had to interpretate a lot of his lectures because he spoke French. Dr. Ben, Tony Brown journals. I got so many lectures where Dr. Ben is debating European professors and European lawyers. I got old videos of Khalid Muhammad debating old lawyers and preachers. I got old videos of Stephen Coakley. I got a whole database of ancient literature that no matter what happened, like they tried to burn all Alexandria down, or the Sura Library, or the museum where all the scholars stayed and studied like myself. I have a full library that's, like I tell y'all about the Philosophical Research Society, that's named after Manly P. Hall. I'm a member there as well. But my library is way more intense. I'm just being straight up honest. And so when you see people that try to diss our scholars and things, especially no disrespect from no one, European, Albius, Tralodite, and even Negroes, you look like a fool. Why? Because the scholars, we already done this. They already debunked Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. That's why I said all I'm doing is just resurrecting the teachings from scholarship. I tell people I don't care about no niggardly religion. Dr. Ben didn't care about that. Didn't Dr. Ben tell you his wife was Catholic with all in different religions? Didn't he tell you his family was all different religions? That's what I'm telling you. Didn't Khalid Muhammad say it? He know he a Moor, got sense enough to know he was a Moor. He was under the Nation of Islam, then whatever he was after he left the nation, but he knew he was a Moor. All you got to do, even modern brothers today, like I forget the one Muslim name dude that be on 5150 show, the little podcast. I forget the one Muslim name. Even he got old videos of him telling Moorish history and Asiatic. All of these people be having what? A mission, their religious mission. I'm not spreading no religious mission. I don't care about none of that. I understand who I am. I understand the God within. I understand the Creator, but I don't push no religion on no man. Especially when God ain't write none of these books. Especially when God ain't write none of these books, and we promulgate this God stuff. But it was ancient books that talk about this type of consciousness before, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Book of the Dead, the Coffin text. You know, it's plenty of ancient books. You know, hell, it was 16 crucified saviors before Jesus Christ. But we the only group of people that, you know, take something or have something that look outside ourselves as our God and then be afraid to teach it. Like my professor said, this is a European man. He said, white people, we got our own religion. And then he said, oops, I mean Anglo-Saxon. I shared the lecture. I don't make none of this stuff up. I say, dude, what you matter what I'm saying? Let me get my European professor and see what he say. Same thing I'm saying. He was like, well, you're not saying nothing. He was like, if you're crazy, how you graduate with a honors from Grand Canyon University? And what you talking about? I said, I don't know. That's a good question, ain't it? We laugh. We dealing with most brothers that didn't even graduate high school. And I'm not saying education is the only key, but damn it, it's a major key. It's a major key. You know, I know brothers just don't have the wisdom. There's so many books and things that you put the science together, historical things, the lesser key, the higher key. There's so much stuff that Europeans will take, but I'll be like, I know where it comes from. Why? Because I'm dealing with academia. I'm a scholar. I'm an educator. So I have to deal with the writings. I have to be able to talk about things and show things. Just like I'm going to show a couple things today. Like, matter of fact, just a lot of things our people don't know, especially the babies. That's why I said we have to get to a point where we be able to, I hope brothers support something that's real, like myself and others that's doing things. Because it's nobody else's responsibility, and no one is gonna teach our babies this. No one is gonna share the libraries, not even with the children or adults. You gotta imagine when our kids get our age, it's gonna be even worse. It's gonna be even worse because this world is so fast. This world is all AI and internet. I know grown people still learn off TikTok and Wikipedia. I say, man, if you turned that mess to me in school, I'm flunking you. And then I'm telling every professor about you. I always, I always ask my brothers and sisters, my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We not lost due to no lack of religion. We not. We not. We lost because we don't understand the God that's in each and every one of us. We don't understand the God that's in you and I. That's why we perish. That's why the young boys perished because they don't see God in themselves. So if you don't see God in yourself, you don't see God in another brother. You think God is some sky god or some pie god. That's what you think. And that's why our young babies is lost. It's like a soul, it's a big disconnection. It's a big disconnection because in history and things, kids don't know who they are. And the reason why I know this, and I can say this with pride and honesty, because when I went to high school, I didn't get it. What teacher, and I'm saying some people may have had a good teacher. I'm not saying, but I'm saying what teacher, if anybody can relay, that took the time out in their life that you can remember in your high school, middle school, could be elementary, that opened up your chamber or your hippocampus to real history. Do anybody know any teachers that have done that for you in high school or anything? Because I don't know any. To be honest, I don't know any. And I'm trying to think, but I know I was homeschooled. I can show you when I was a kid how in our living room, my mother and them had a full library. Even though I might have been a knucklehead or whatever, but at a young age, I was very good at reading. I was very good at articulating myself. I was I was very good at writing. I always liked to write, you know, at a young age, you know, at a very young age. Shoot. And now as an adult, I just reverted back to what I like. Studying who I am, being an educator, being a mentor, being a personal trainer. All those things I say is current because man, religion is not it for us, for people. It's not. And I'm not dissing nobody's religion. I hope nobody don't take offense to what I just said. But okay, religion don't stop us from killing each other. We have to see God in each other, man. Like, and our energy is so off with each other. Like, and even with this so-called wisdom or just the internet, people so tough on the internet, like how they speak to people, or like somebody want to kill somebody because you have a difference of religious ideas. And I said, if you operate on truth and wisdom and scholarship, then you should be able to sit down with a level head and talk to your brothers with reason. If not, that's a waste of time and a wrong energy for me. I tell everybody, America is the only place. Where else could you have religious freedoms? Where else would anybody want to be? Here are all these people give their lives to get their children here, or they almost gave their lives to get here. And look at them, doctors and all this stuff. All the little so-called pharmacies, you see a certain type. Doctors, you see a certain type. All these people that came over here in the Americas didn't have a pot to piss in. Came over here, became doctors and all this, and lawyers and pharmacy owners and religious freedoms. And then you telling me that we've been over here all our life and we can't agree on nothing and we gonna argue over everything. That's why I said when I deal with everybody in different cultures, I get love. They just call me a sheik or a shaman. All my misnomer Indians, all my misnomer Muslims, that's different nationalities, not misnomer black, spiritual head. I get all love because it's the spirit, it's the energy. It has nothing to do with my color. Because when we go all the way back, Hell, I'm their ancestor. I speak their language. And that's what I be telling people. I'm like, come on, people. Come on, brothers and sisters. Peace, Noble Lamar. I try to tell my brothers and sisters, you gotta teach this to your babies. Like, no one's gonna do it. I ask everybody that be on here, what teacher do you remember in high school that's teaching or giving you all the wisdom, all the books, what your brother is giving you? So what do you think your kid gonna know when they get in high school, when they get older? They gonna think they from Africa. They gonna think all of them came from Africa on a boat as some slaves. They gonna think Kunta Kinte is real. They gonna think Willie Lynch is real. Why? Because that's what's gonna be promulgated to your babies. I guarantee you. So as soon as that's programmed to your babies, boom, they gonna think less of themselves. Oh, I gotta get a job, and then when I get old as hell, retire. They're not gonna have the concept of being an owner and being a CEO. They're gonna have the concept of what? Working a 9 to 5, working hard. That's what's gonna be preached to your kid. Work hard, get up at a certain time, wear a certain uniform. That's gonna be preached to your child. The same cycle. I'm telling you what they say. I want my kid to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. Really? Really? You want your kid to go to school and get an education and get a good job? What type of job? These people, kids going to school to either be owners or doctors or lawyers. That's your own. They ain't going to school to get out and go work no job. And then all the people that I met from different countries, when I got my master's degree from Grand Canyon University, my dual master's degree, I met people from Ethiopia. I met people from Germany. I even met people from, what she say she was, from Denver. And everybody was like, yeah, they come here to get their education and go back home because their family sent them here. And their family and they get ready to run their own family church. Real talk. They were like, I know you're going back home. Be like the water messed up. They were like, it's a perfect time. I said, man, our city's so in shambles. It don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. And so I ask brothers and sisters, how many high school teachers you had that you can remember that left an imprint on history? I ain't saying everybody didn't have one, but I'm saying it's going to be few. It's going to be very few. How many of I wrote a book about scholars in history that got some of the first Asiatic women academia. Adults don't even know right now. I got so much wisdom. A professor told me, he said, there's so much book in his wisdom. I mean, there's so much wisdom in his book, excuse me. He was like, and it's simple. And I'm thinking it's just simple stuff. But around those type of people, it's like so magnanimous. You know, like you authored all these books, like you wrote them all, like that'd be amazing. To us, it's nothing. To us, it's nothing. Like somebody said, they'd rather go to Amazon, not them. But he was like, here it is, people follow you every day. And he was like, people don't hit you up before they go to Amazon. I said, no. I said, not misnomer black people, or excuse my candor, or not Moors, my muftis. My muftis always hit me up every time. Sheik, you got this? Yep, yep, yep. If I don't, I don't. I try to find it, but 9 times out of 10, or I say, yeah, I usually have it. Or most of the time I got the hard copy, I just haven't converted it to a PDF or ebook per se, you know? But I ask everybody, how many teachers you had in high school that left an imprint, or middle school or elementary, that taught you real history, that gave you a book that you have now today that you ain't have when you was young? And did you know what you know now or learning now? Did you know this in any time of your life from a scholastic point of view? Going through school, most of us haven't. And I know our babies not. If anybody on here got kids, because I know people got kids on here, I know they're not going to get no history in school. So are you going to teach it to them? Because we preparing our babies for failure. We so far behind, man. We so far behind. If I show y'all what these parents teaching these kids, man, I see a lot of parents. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. Parents don't even be teaching their kids finances like they teaching these kids. These kids learning right now, the stock market right now at 10 years old. Like literally can sit down with you right now. Why? Because they have classes on it. It's about money. Any kid at a young age loves to learn about money, investing. It's just like anything else. That ain't the only thing they doing. You got to understand that. But I know what we do with our kids. Academia is pushed to the back. You know, finances is pushed to the back. What we promote a lot, sports. It ain't no disrespect to no one. That's what they want us to do. And then the damn the other kid be the owner of the team. Like I give you an analogy. My homeboy, I went to school with Martin Cleese and Charlie Bell, Morris Peterson, Antonio Smith. They all played basketball at Michigan State, right? We all went to Northern. Me, Martin, and Antonio Smith went to Northern. Charlie Bell went to Southwestern, and Morris Peterson went to Northwestern. But you know it was all in Flint, right? So the guy that walked on the team is a European, Albion, Charlie Knight, whatever you want to call him, guy, and his parents was rich, right? So they own this real estate company where they gave Martine a job, and I think Charlie Bell worked too. But they family owned the Phoenix Suns. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he was good in sports. Yeah, you can. That's what I tell the kids. Yeah, you can shoot the ball. Yes, that's great. Good. You get a free scholarship. Yep. That's great. But when you in school, you be smart then all outdoors. You rub circles because you can change your life. You only gonna dribble a basketball for a certain amount of time. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, y'all. The next level finna be amazing. A lot of our brothers don't know finances. They don't know nothing about it. So they come out the pros if they don't, play for a long time, if you mismanage your money, or if you don't have that pension that you get when you stand for a long time in the league. A lot of brothers have to work. You know what I mean? And some people, everybody don't get big contracts. But that's why I say about investment and having things. So when you can come back to your community, you own stuff. You own stuff. You own your house. You own your car. You have your own community center. And brothers don't have it. I bet you right now, if you sit them all down individually and collectively, I bet you they all say, hell yeah, they want their own gym if they had the money. But that's what happens when these things are not in your ear. After your basketball days over, now you look at everybody. They come back to their community, but they don't have no own gyms. Just like Cat Williams was saying on Carmelo Anthony's show. He bought a whole ex-military base, getting ready to turn into his own studio. He said, how can he be making his money and talking his stuff and don't use his money to say, hey, I can produce my own? Vivica Fox had her own studio for a long time. She made her little B-rate movies. You feel me? But I mean, you get in that bag, what you just gonna party and bullshit and talk about people? You gonna talk about Tyler Perry all day? No. Or are you gonna get some of your bag and say, you know what? I got the bag. I'm hot. I'm popping. I'm making this money. Let me go buy my own production company. Cause I know about all this. You know what I mean? So that's what he did. He said he spent what, about $6 million, bought an old ex-military base. And that's what bosses do. And that's what I tell people. Come on, man. You leave a legacy. It ain't about just, I got mine. Okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? There's no infrastructure. I mean, I got the pleasure to be around youth. I got the pleasure to be around youth. And then when I do stuff, I'll be volunteering. I'm like, I don't need it. You gonna volunteer? Yeah. You sure? Well, you can. I'm good. Helping them kids, showing them kids. I'm up there showing them kids how to work out. They like, you come up here? Hell yeah, I show the kids how to work out for free. For free. Yes. All that good stuff. And they listen. Once they look, they're like, oh, you have a master's degree? You will talk to the kids? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I talk to all kids just the same way. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what color you are. That's my position in life. Boom, I'm gonna give you all the skills just like I tell anybody else how to make you the best. You aren't, I'm not gonna mentor no kid to go get no 9 to 5. I'm gonna tell you, go educate yourself. What you like to do. If you young, you like to make clothes. I'm saying, okay, well, you got to go figure this out. You got to go to school, take some business classes. You got to be doing this right now. You got to be designing and all this. Why? You got to be marketing. I'm gonna help you. You got to be doing all this stuff, promoting all that stuff while you're young, building your craft. Because then that might go to something else. You might just start with clothes. It might take you to designing something else. But what we're doing, we are maturing that gift, that talent. That talent is being matured. You know what I mean? It was like, man, that's why I said I love that. That's what I show the kid. No, you can be the best. Why? Because there's so many ways to get a bag. If you're the master of it, hell, they came out with a thing called the damn Chia Pet. That thing blew up on QVC. A damn Chia Pet. A Chia Pet. That was somebody's idea. And we telling these kids they ain't smart? Shoot. Hell, a little boy, Kai Center, making money on the internet, doing whatever. That's why I say, whatever you do, be the best. But I tell kids to be a boss. Well, will you tell the kid to be a boss? Yes, 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 yes. That's what I tell them. What? Because to be a boss, you're going to have to be the master of something. That's what. And you're going to be educated. You're going to have all the skills. You're going to be in good shape. You're going to use your athletic ability. What? To get that free education. If it take you to the next level, bam. Great. That's just going to be even easier for you to do. Why? Because you're doing a sport that you love and you're getting the bag. But a lot of these brothers make the same decisions. Y'all can pull up the old video with all the ex-NBA and NFL players telling how they went broke. One of the football players said, his homeboy said, man, we're going to invest in a farm and grow huge tomatoes and make ketchup. That was the stupidest thing ever. Just listen to people that ain't never did nothing. You know, never did nothing. And that's what I tell us. And we waste a lot of our money. We get these money managers, and yeah, you paying your taxes. But I tell people this, we so miseducated on things from across the board, from academia to even church. When I say, when you got a money manager, for one, nobody need to manage your money but you. If you got somebody managing your money, you lazy. And everybody that let somebody manage their money, a lot of times when they stupid with their money, they get hustled. I don't have enough fingers and toes to drop down NBA players that got hustled by their so-called money managers. But yeah, they paying your taxes, but they siphon it to their homeboy organization. Yeah, you paying your taxes, yes. But they homeboy charity is going, oh, we're going to donate to this organization. Yep, no, bam. So instead of you siphon it to what you're supposed to be doing, they running everything. Why? Because you got a money manager. As long as your taxes paid, you don't care. Oh, well, I know. No, you don't. If you know, how Wesley Snipes go to prison for not paying his taxes? How Fat Joe go? Because they money manager doing it. But your money manager ain't responsible for that. You are. I don't care who you got. Then you hear niggas, well, that's illegal. The money manager should be responsible. No, it ain't. Ain't nobody with no petition to change the law. So what you doing? Barbershop talk. It's what Negroes do. Barbershop talk. And so you see what? A repeated cycle. What? Communities don't have nothing. All these NBA players don't be knowing they financing everybody else organizations. They don't know it. But I know it. And it's a million, and it's millions in that. It's millions in that what? Taking your money and deciphering it somewhere. Yeah, you're getting your taxes paid. So what? But I'm just siphoning it to my religion or organization of our choice. Yeah, we might sprinkle a little bit here and here to make it look good. But just imagine all the good that you can do for your own community. Just imagine that. Just imagine all the good that you can do for your own community. Just imagine, hypothetically speaking, if you know somebody and they was a Moorish or whatever, and they into the science and they go pro, and they say, oh yeah, we good, Sheik, like don't even worry about it. He was like, yep, not only am I gonna donate money that I want to help this go on, but he said once I see my contract, I'm gonna be donating a large portion of the money I give Uncle Sam to the BBT. He don't got to give it up if he don't want to. It might be some other charitable things that the brother might want to do or the sister. But at least they have it on their heart to say, hey, no, I'm gonna give you a large chunk, and I'm gonna tell the rest of my friends why, because we want to see this in the community, and we want to see this in other communities. Why? Because it should be. I be telling people, man, I wanted to go to West Point when I was a kid. I mean, I like my dad trained me. It was me. I was fascinated with other things. I had two older brothers. Then I moved on Patterson Street, aka West Pad. Thought I was slick, but I grew up in Scouts, all that. I grew up with my mom and my dad. It's a certain way that young men would honor, and women too, and young girls too. How? That father figure. And when you take a good interest in it, they're gonna want to do it. What? Everything. They'll read, they'll study, they'll do martial arts, all that. They'll learn a different language. Why? Because you're gonna promote it. They'll be real disciplined. I'm trying to tell you what I know. That's what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters. But I want to get into the main topic, but that was just on my heart, because there's a lot of things going on in the city today, and I just be telling people, I'm like, man, it's not hard to do these things. It's being done in our face. It's being done right in our face. And everybody know it, man. And when people talk about religion, I say, man, how can it be religion? And we can say friends and all that, but hell, immediate family sometimes don't even kick it because of a so-called dogmatic religious perspective. And when families can't do that, instead of having a true understanding, because let me tell you something about what my dad said and my mom said, and I think a lot of people that will come from wisdom, no matter if they're a parent or a child, could agree with this if they own the level of love and wisdom. The child's supposed to become the teacher in this element. The child's supposed to become the teacher in this element, y'all. I'm trying to tell people, but you know, sometimes it be hard. But I want to show a picture. I want to show a picture. And I'm just going to show a couple things. Like I said, I shared these with some kids today. They was like, huh? Some parents was like, never heard of this. And she was like, well, why they don't teach this in school? I said, well, go ask the teachers and the faculty where your children go to it. You know? I said, go ask. I said, she was like, well, I go to this church. Are you willing to come? Yeah. And I'm gonna go. This is what I be telling people. I have to get invited. And I said, isn't it funny that I get invited to European churches to talk about our history? I'll be like, man. But and then my dad always say, well, he'd be like, well, son, did you go to the university in Arizona? He was like, wasn't you one of the only ones? I used to wear my fez and my turban every day, you know? And so it was just ironic. And when I did, because they let master students lecture in a cathedral and in a lecture hall, and I just lectured out, to the students, and then professors started coming, and then my professor started coming. Then next thing you know, so many professors started coming. The next thing you know, I see opportunity. I started talking to the students. I said, man, forget this. I said, man, we can meet on my own time. If y'all willing to give a small donation to my organization, they like, yeah. Boom. I was going up there every Wednesday. I talked to the university. They're like, yes, you can. Boom, 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 bam, 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 bing, boom, bow. Done. I was up there every Wednesday. I'm talking about, I helped so many students graduate. They use me for a library to this day. Not only the students at GCU, at so many colleges in Arizona and different universities in different states. I got a family that I met online. They just looked me up. They was like, "Man, your library is amazing." Because her daughter was struggling with the online library at the I forget. I just can't think of the school she was going to. It's in Texas. And I said, I understand. Sometimes it's kind of hard to navigate. And she was struggling in writing APA format. Boom, helped her just like that. Bam, bam, bam. Gave her a template. Bam, 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 bam. Done deal. She was like, nobody know how to do it like this. I said, I was a student. You know? She was like, well, why? I said, because I figured out how to do stuff on my own. I've done all that. When people say, "Why?" I've done all those things. When people say, I've done that." You know, before a lot of people met me, I when I was living in Flint, when I was in my academic early career, I used to work as an advisor. You know, all I used to work. I used to work as a financial aid advisor. Then I used to work as an academic advisor at Clear University. I used to work in Howell, Michigan, where the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan lived. And then I started working at the off campus here, closer in Michigan, Flint, at Mott Community College, because they got an off site there. And my job, I had an office, and my job was try to get the students that was going to school for 2 years to come to Cleary, which it was hard because it was a tough school. Because after every class, you had to write a capstone after every single class. But back to the subject at hand. This picture. And so I just want to highlight that picture. I just want to highlight the picture, and we're going to keep going. I think I sent this to y'all know if any of my muftis on here. I think I saw my noble Lamarck, my brother. But Imhotep, the vizier and physician of King Zohr, and afterward the Egyptian god of medicine, by Jamison B. Hurry, M.A., M.D., Oxford University Press, Humphrey Milford, 1926. See, 1926. Look, when I go back to the Phyllis, I think I'm gonna take. Let me see. I got so much going on. I'll tell you what though. When I go back to the Philosophical Research Society, if any of my nobles available to go with me to L.A., they got the whole Manly P. Hall Library, and it's amazing. It's nice, but it's open to the public on Thursdays and Fridays. But anyway, that's the Imhotep is the magician and sage who first appears on the stage of Egyptian history in the reign of King Zoser or Zoer, Zoser. That's how they spell it, of the third dynasty, and reappears at intervals on the stage during a period of over 3,000 years. His record therefore extends over a large part of history of ancient Egypt. We shall attempt to trace the fortunes of Imhotep both during the period of his human activity, they said of his human activity, and also during the subsequent periods when he was looked upon, first as a demi, and finally as one of the full deities of Egypt. We shall also seek to analyze the forces which result in such an exceptional occurrence as the deification of an ordinary mortal, i.e., of one who had never been a king. Yeah, we know all that. But the subject is one with interest in various groups. Okay, let me get to a good part. Okay. An abstract of this monograph was contributed to the Fourth International Congress of the History of Medicine, which met last year in Geneva. This was the year before this was written. Since, however, the short time allotted to individual contributions forbade the submission of more than a portion of the following study, it has been thought well to publish the work in extenso. My cordial thanks are due to the various authorities who have given facilities in connection with the illustrations. The director of the Moose, these antiques Egyptians at Cairo had kindly permitted the reproduction of figures 1 and 4. The Ministry of the Public Works in Egypt, the use of colonel loins, photographs of Fili. And just like, man, it was a film I wanted everybody to watch. And one of my muftis made a good statement when I said Iran, but Iran was called something before that. And that's why you see when I show pictures, you be like, they ain't need the same things. I'm like, yeah. You have to start connecting just the little dots, you know, just the little dots. But this it's just it's good pieces of literature to have. I don't want to go into it all the way, but it's definitely a great piece of literature to have for brothers and sisters. And I always talk about, and just because I wanted to just have an open conversation. But even with research, even with books, I mean, like I tell everyone, books are good. Don't get me wrong. Don't let nobody tell you books are not good. But books are used as a should be used as a tool. You know what I mean? Books should be used as a tool because it was at one point, brothers and sisters, that we couldn't read. It was illegal. It was a point, you know. So I think it's very important for brothers and sisters to share things, to display things. Like I have a full library, and so I always be telling brothers and sisters, ask me about something, or that's where I'm at, because that's the only way things gonna get shared with brothers and sisters. If people come and say, man, I want to learn and get some wisdom and remove some of the hate, because most people, especially a lot of Moorish brothers, especially a lot of what else they call them, what the brother be Hebrew Israelites, and even Muslim brothers. I don't know. Everybody act like they have like something is better than the other, but it's just hard for me to say one is better than the other, and it's definitely hard for me to always use the white man theory. Like that for me don't work. That for me don't work at all. And dissing education, I don't know why anyone diss education. Like that's hard for me. For anyone, for any man, no matter what religion you are, why would you diss education? And and that's one of the things that's crazy to me is we'll sit up here and diss education. But Dr. Ben was educated. Ivan Van Sertima was educated. Sheikh Anta Diop was educated. John Henry Clark was educated. So what's wrong with brothers having an education? When the last time education was bad? What, it's a certain badge because brothers drop out of school and those that go ahead and pursue academia and even a little bit further, oh, so they not real? Oh, so you got to go to prison or do some harm to your own brother and then say, oh, and I changed and get into the science? Oh, that's real? That's real to us. See, that don't make sense. See, that concept and that, how can I say it, psychosis, that don't make sense to me. You see, it don't. For a brother say, oh, he think he's smart because he went to college, but what are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? Because none of my people I look at as none of my enemy. My brother, everybody I look at it is my brothers. And so I tell people we have to use what a lot of our brothers have and bring back to the community. But a lot of times, when people do come back to the community that went academia and got a little wisdom, they don't want to come back to the community. You know, I'm just being honest. They don't want to go back to the community that they live in. But that's where your people at. And that's the concept that they get us in when we say, oh, boo, we go and work. But everybody's mission is different. But I'm talking about myself. I was there. Like I was there. That's why I learned. That's why I learned so much. You know what I'm saying? I done so much in my younger years where I was like, man, it happened. Then my brother passed, and it really a lot of other stuff really started clicking in the right manifestation, as far as like spiritually and understanding what life really, really, really is about. And so when I say sharing wisdom with people, especially the children and different nationalities, I have to say it like that, is welcome. And that's why I say coming on social media, like I don't have no problem nobody saying nothing about me that don't know me, because I know from my academic endeavor, especially graduating from Grand Canyon University with a master's degree, man, I was able to see a whole different life. You know, a whole different life, like a whole different life. To be like, man, my brain can generate this. Like, wait a minute, my brain? Like yeah, man, like your brain generate this. Like, wow. I said, wow. Cause like I said, at one point I was on the road. It's just like a person say they working overtime and say, oh man, we got this extra, and it's a profit share thing. Man, I was on the road, all from the people, all from me lecturing and then giving and donating books to students. I used to be up there for hours. I remember a plethora of times. I go through, man. I like I said, I got over 1 million books and documents. Man, I remember one day I was up there 1,100 books. I'm letting them get them for $5. They loving it. They like, man, this book cost this. They like, and I'm like, y'all want me to print them? No, they print them for free. They know how to bind them. All college students know how to print and bind their books. That's why they was geeked. They was like, people stupid. They're like, these books cost a grip, especially the college books that I had. Their financial aid was eating it up. And then when the book is done being used, say you spent $400 for a book, with your financial aid, you go buy them all new. That was one of the hustles. Oh nope, you can't use that last year book. They were the whole new version, so you got to buy the new version, and it ain't no used ones. Then when you return the book after the semester, $30, and then the professor might not even use, will probably use a couple chapters. But I figured it out. I figured how to do things. Actually, my professor put me up on how to do everything really, and it was like that. But that's why I'm saying what we need to gravitate to. Because I hear too many people saying, what's hidden? And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me. I ask everybody, you tell me. Tell me what's hidden. I don't think it's nothing hidden. Matter of fact, I know it's nothing hidden. A lot of brothers and sisters are just not introduced. And a lot of people don't share it. You know? Like even like just being honest, from a real understanding perspective, why I say a lot of Moors really get in trouble, because a lot of brothers get their understanding from things from the wrong place. Like for instance, when people talk about Masons, I think most people that really say stuff really got their information from Masonry off the internet. Like my dad right here was a Mason, or my uncle was a Mason. My aunt's father, my aunt Eleanor Goodman, her dad was a Scottish Rite Mason. I be telling people, man, like I be honest with everything. My uncle used to work for. He passed. Peace be among him. I don't know what I used to. Like I said, I don't know. It was just weird how my uncle passed, but I know he was a part of a society. I know the one I know that. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? The one that Steve Coakley be talking about. I know that for a fact. But some people, I've heard a lot of things because my ears is to a lot. I see so much. I be hearing so many people be saying some of the most outlandish stuff. I be like, man, to me, I'll be like, I think people should be able to bring up cases. Like, I'm just saying, like people, I done heard people talk about, yeah, the Masons is doing this to them, and I said, don't nobody have, you're not that important, and that's why I be saying, is all this stuff fake AI, or is everybody playing? Because I be like, ain't nobody following you. Like really, ain't nobody that important, man. I be like, man, this is cap. Like you not, no one is being followed by no Masons. Don't no Masons got that much time to be following you. I'm sorry. And for the brothers that saying that, I said, dude, please, you probably getting harassed because you sleep in your car and people follow you. You know what I mean? Because you at the park all the time, like you done slept at that mug without no, with all due respect. But I mean, come on, man. This all I be telling people. And if it is what it is, we be so gangster, but then scary as HELL at the same time. Think about this, right, y'all? That people will come to the internet. That people will come to the internet, but they so tough talking all this stuff about this, and then get on the internet scared. That's you see what I'm saying, family, and that's what I tell people stop playing, man. But I just wanted to share that, man. Please teach your babies, man. Teach them something that you didn't know. It's very, very imperative today. I'm telling you, and this world is moving so fast, and then parents just be putting a tablet in your kid face, and it's so much. If you ever, man, parents, if you ever just get your kid phone and look and see what they be looking at, see what they be looking at all day on that phone. Just see. I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. How I know I'm in that field. I tell they're all parents. I say, get your kid's phone, see what they looking at, and then I bet you, if any parent that got a little kid, and if I say this is what a lot of kids be watching, you gonna be like, damn, she, my kid know what that is. I'm be like, I told you. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So these are things I be talking about, man. I don't really have time to be debating nobody on no religion or arguing with no one on social media over some things that if that's how you feel, that's great. That's how you feel. Great, great. But I'm just trying to change the paradigm with us, with our community. You know what I mean? That's it. But like I said, if anybody, any pieces of wisdom, man, I got, like I said, I have a full library. You can hit me up. Like I said, when I was showing this book the other day, a couple students got it. They were like, man, I never heard of that. I said, well, that's fine. I know a lot of people never ever heard of J.A. Rogers. They tried to discredit J.A. Rogers' work. You know, peace. They tried to discredit peace, Jerron Young. They tried to discredit J.A. Rogers' work at one point in time. They tried to discredit. And I know a lot of college kids and high school kids and parents don't even know who J.A. Rogers is. I know this for a fact. How I know? Because I talk to parents. I talk like I'm alumni from colleges. Most of the Europeans that's Masons, they know everything I'm talking about. That's why I say when I come on here, I speak freely. The only people that I get disrespect from is trolls. And I ain't worried about that. But full libraries. And these what students get. I have one of my Islamic homeboys, from the Middle East. I got a whole library. We had sat and studied, opened his mind to a whole nother chamber. You know, he was like, "It's just what it is, Sheik." I said, "I know," and I said, "Respect to everybody." He was like, he said, "Do your black Muslim brother understand this?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe." But a lot of people religious, they so stuck up in what they want to believe in. That's not my mission to do that. That's not my mission. I just come with a gift. I just come with a gift. I'm telling y'all, a lot of people talk about like I have whole libraries of a lot of our scholars, like literally whole libraries, and I'm just showing pieces of wisdom. It's just like if you had a map and a guide. So if you learn martial arts and you got the instructions, it's the same way as application. It's repetition. What practice is repetition. I told y'all, I pray with muscle. I don't pray on my knees like on some weak stuff. I told y'all. I tell everybody this auto suggestion with me. I try to show this what I tell people. When you have something you want to teach the babies this, how to be powerful with this. I'm trying to tell you, man. And we missing it. Our kids in a hamster wheel. We teaching them how to work 9 to 5 and retire old. That's what we teaching them. We ain't teaching them how to be owners like all these other people. That's real generational wealth. Cause selling some clothes ain't no damn generational wealth. Oh, this the free. Here, I might as well show y'all everything. And this is stuff I be lecturing. Y'all see that? That's the Free White Persons Clause of Naturalization Act of 1790 as super statute. That's in William Mary Law Review. You know, a beautiful piece of history. Beautiful piece. And I'm gonna show y'all I have everything, man. That's why I said, how you gonna be afraid? It's like if you like to play chess, but every time you go play chess, someone cheating. You run home and start crying. But your daddy a chess master. You don't want to learn how to play. He know you go up there with them grown men getting your butt kicked and they cheat you and they know you your father's son. They like, damn, you ain't learned. They know something got to be wrong with you. Why? Because your daddy a chess master. So they gonna be busting your head. I would too. And that's how you dispel the ghost. I tell everybody, man, we ghostbusters over here. And when I know what you're coming with, it's 99 degrees over here from all love and respect. That's why understand all wisdom. They always try to say Noah Drawley got the sign from Adam Levonsky, Alex Crowley, Pascal Beverly Randolph. But I bet you if I show you Adam Levonsky documents and all the so-called European Sufis, they get credit to Noah Drawley. I bet you. I bet everybody that say they don't. I'm telling you, I dig right through my documents and be like, well, what about this? You'll be like, well, 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 well. I'm like, I know, well, well, well. But that's what we do. It's like they try to say Noah Drawley plagiarized from the Aquarian Gospel from Eliseus Levi. Eliseus Levi was nothing but a transcriber. Just like the European that wrote the European Zachariah Stinchen that wrote that, the Anunnaki, all that pseudoscience. They all was 32 and 33-degree Masons. They was part of the Philosophical Research Society. I told y'all, if no European mate, anybody that come with something, I would be able to have something that say, okay, what about this? I'm just keeping it 100. It ain't no secret with me. It ain't no secret with me. You must study all science, all law. How so when somebody coming with something, if they think they're a trickster, man, you dispel that. Because the science come from you. They just remixing it. It's just like when you see the Eastern Stars, no disrespect, the Eastern Stars, your auntie, your mama, your cousin might be an Eastern Star, and you see they pentagram. It's not towards Allah. meaning arm, leg, arm, head. It's not YHWH standing up neither. It's kind of pointed towards. And they won't tell you that that's the Daughters of American Revolution that came with the mayor's license. But they'll never tell you that. But anyway, you dispel it. People be, listen, it's what it is. You a lot of times when people say, "Well, our Masons doing this and our Masons doing that, our Masons worshiping the devil," ask them. They'll probably jump around. But then I see Masons on TikTok with their ring saying, "Oh well, it don't mean this and don't mean that." I say, "Hey man, that's not what I'm into. I don't care about what it mean and what it don't mean. But I'm saying if it's good for you, it should be spread to young kids. Young men, we should be having young nobles or young Masons if it's good. Like we gonna have young nobles and young empresses if it's good for us. It ain't no secret with us. Our kids, we don't look at our kids as perverse. But all those things that you might think is scary is not. But like the greater ritual of the pentagram, this is Aleister Crowley. And when you see this is what a lot of people won't tell you that they done got under the spell. I'm telling you. When I show you Pascal Beverly writings and everything, you'll be like, well, wait a minute, Sheik. I'll be like, yeah, yeah. They be writing things in a certain fashion where most people will never catch it. I'll give you another one, just like the demonology for King James. Like I tell y'all, man, like the thing that I be saying, people get caught up in conscious community and characters. A lot of that stuff I said, man, you can't just read one line or one or two lines. Like if you believe in like a lot of stuff talk about witches and warlocks and all that, well, people believe in in a sky god and people believe in a god and a devil. People believe in that, so I don't think it's no different in a person believing in some other fugazi. It's just like saying your fake Jordans better than his fake Jordans. That's crazy. You believe in the boogeyman, he believe in the tooth fairy. You know what I'm saying? Like the irony of that, huh? I mean, we have full libraries, and I'm just showing what I had the pleasure to build with some students today, and they were just amazed, and I was amazed that they didn't know who none of these great figures were in history. One of the kids going for African American studies, so I'm like, "What are y'all studying?" She's like, "Well, would you come up to my?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes, I will." But I already know what the kids getting. They don't know about none of our scholars in history. When I say none, I mean none. Oh well, they know. They knew about Chancellor Williams. So I said, well, how you know about Chancellor Williams? And that's it. But at least what I say, at least she had a start because it was just one kid, and I know her mother. It was just one kid, and I knew her mother. But it's so much, and everything we touch. What he said. We study. That's why I said our private man lectures and things, man, and teachings are amazing. But we got so much stuff in a database, man. I'm telling you, that'll just blow your mind. Remember, I told y'all Islamic, no disrespect, I love them, but the House of Wisdom. When I told y'all it was in Baghdad, and it was the intellectual powerhouse, it was in Baghdad. I'm telling you, man, I got so much. Uh oh, I'm gonna got my phone dying. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the House of Wisdom. How the Arabic science saved ancient knowledge and gave us the Renaissance. It just took a lot of ancient writings and transformed it to Arabic. But I tell people, any books, man, that people need, all you gotta do is get with me. Okay, I'm gonna drop so much. Let me see. I got a little bit more time. It's just like, okay, I tell y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little game how people get hustled on by their own people. Everybody got a gimmick. You see how the gimmick, most of them it's the same. It's the cadence, how they speak. It's a book called All My Movies Got It. I told people to try to read. Let me see if y'all can see. It's called The Influencer. Let me see. I got a little juice. If it 21. I said this to all my brothers, man. Like, you'll be like, oh, she, this way they be coming with, like, yeah. I know about all of them petty, the pyramid or the Ponzi scheme, all that crap. Yeah, man. Like I said, I got, let me see, so much. I'm just trying to show good stuff. Somebody was asking me, Black Jacobites. It's a good piece of history. Man, that's so much. Like I said, fam, I just wanted to show. Oh, let me show y'all this one. This one of the most sought after books in the world. I told y'all this, the Russian icons. I converted this to a PDF. It's on Amazon for $1,995. Now, don't get cheap and go on Amazon and get the one for 100 some dollars. It ain't no pictures in it. You're gonna be very disappointed, and I'm gonna laugh at you. Yeah, mine got the plates. You know, a lot of them in color. They got a few in black and white. But then also remember in Maccabees when it says the heathen and Gentile tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. And then in one of the books, I got another book that's showing you how Lean and Tombs whitewashing a lot of the pictures. I can even show you how the Vikings and things in books, how you can tell they whitewashed the pictures. It's funny than a mug. And then when the art style come to me, it was an art style how they used to take the pictures and change their nose a little bit. You know what I mean? To make it look a little more slanted. Yeah. Alex Pushkin, melanated. Mozart. You remember Abdul Solomon, the first Moorish Mason? Research Abdul Solomon. Man, I got so much, man. Like, let me see. The first Moorish Mason. Yeah. What he say? Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody said. Let me send him this real quick. Let me show you. Let me show. I know y'all. I know y'all seen this brother, right? And Solomon. 1750. Massanissa. But yeah, man, we definitely need to be able to, especially other brothers that understand, come together. But that's all I want to talk about, man. But we're the only ones that's gonna be able to teach it. We the only one, cause nobody else gonna do it. Oh, and let me show y'all something that other people done read about our prophet. Now I don't know if y'all, even though he was accused for whatever, but remember the science. That's like Dr. York. The science was, I can't find nothing wrong with the science. I see, some of the things you can be technical about, but fine when you get to when you go over it with a fine tooth, I mean, it's what it is. But most people ain't never seen this. Most people ain't never seen this. When I tell people, so many people's under the prophet's wisdom, you're not even gonna know. They're not gonna tell you. That's why most people play stupid. You heard in Wu Tang when they say the Black Noble Drew Ali. Who said that? Uh, no, Ghostface. One of them. Raekwon. Which one was Raekwon? I don't know. And then in the movie with Denzel Washington played on, they had a picture of the prophet on the wall. Why? That's why I be telling people, like, why we diss people that done great things? I mean, look. But people always know what he did. You don't know nothing. We know he was a real person. Wasn't no, oh, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. Whatever a person would have said. But this is by African Bambaataa, Malik Sapphire, and King Mark Love. They got to listen to this. Listen to this when I said, hey, regardless of what people say, you can check them with the wisdom. That's why when people look me up, they be like, well, Sheik. I said, yeah, I know. Basic Moorish study. Prophecies of the Hadith. Moorish science and adapt questionnaire. Islamism, world's first creed. Elihu's lessons. Swift angels. Elihu's lesson. Elihu's adapt lesson. Elihu's adapt lesson, number 214. Oh, it was number 213. This is all this is the Silent Brotherhood. But I know where them brothers got the Silent Brotherhood from. That's why I said I know where it came from. I know where all of it come from. And then all they got the all other lessons, but they just numbered as something else. And then they got the one-on-one Quran questionnaire. A look at the Moorish Muslims, their architecture and intelligence in India. Lesson 12, a message to all members of Sultanites of Murakush and indigenous people history, Black Native American history. What were you called before 1492? Benjamin Banneker, the Zodiac Constitution, a look at the term resident, basic drafting, a suit. It's so much in this one. But then, let me see, I think that's volume 2. Is there another one? Oh, yep, and it's a book, and it's a volume 3. They call theirs the brown. They call theirs the brown book. That's why I be laughing when people. I say, man, what you talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. Then I start pulling out all the shit, and then they be like, "Will, can I tell you?" No, that's why I be knowing people angles, nationality and birthrights. Listen to this: the Masons and the Moors, our two first presidents, history of the Moorish Science Temple of America, civic lessons. Number 1. Who are the Moorish Americans? Acknowledgements, preface, introduction, communications. Who are the Moorish Americans? Moors defined. The Ku Klux Klan. A few actual facts for Moors, a people in adversity, unbiased test and exercise, resolution of union of states, slave and ward problems. What about the Klan? Klanners, General Nathan Bedford Forrest, the Union of States Congress and the Klan, organization and principles of the Klan, creed, character and objects of the order, titles, territory and divisions, interrogations to be asked, ancillary, test questions, the organization and structure of the Klan. All that was about the Klan. The Mobite Moorish flag of the human family, the national flag of the Mobite Moorish nation of North America, Northgate. And so when people be acting like they don't be knowing and try to sweep stuff under the rug, man, everybody got to give prophet credit to the prophet. Even Farrakhan gave credit to the prophet. I think it was in 2015 on Founders Day. He said it that Noble Drew Ali brought the type of Islam to the North American Negro. They know it. Then they switched it up. You can't be mad at me. And then everybody want to act like they don't know what I be talking about, and I just say whatever. Because if that ain't the real Fard Muhammad, whatever, who was the brother I showed you? That's Ugan Ali. Then now it's over. It ain't nothing else you can say. Also, the real Ugan Ali gonna be standing next to a fake whatever, and both of them was supposed to been crazy. They both of them was supposed to start it, the Nation of Islam, but whatever Allah's house before it was called that. That's why I be saying, man, that's why you only saw that picture with the so-called fake Fard Muhammad and the police supposed to be the feds with the Quran or whatever book he had right there. They never really showed the picture. But in the police, other pictures from the Detroit Press and all that, and even on other things, you can blow the picture up and be like, bam. But the news articles, especially when you talk about Ugan Ali, then you start seeing stuff where it be like, okay, if this ain't him, well, who is this? Because this the same picture. That's why I be telling people, like, man, why we can't have that conversation? That's just like they say, man, okay, me. And they say, well, that ain't Sheik. And then they say, okay, well, yeah, but Sheik be with Lamarck all the time and boom, boom, boom. And they say, okay, well, if that ain't Sheik, well, and that's Lamarck right with him, and they say Lamarck was his right hand man, and they started out together, and boom, the right hand man right next to him, but that ain't me. Like that's some of the most craziest stuff. Like that's a tongue twister right there. That's a burn burner right there. That's the old people say. Say that's a burn burner. I just want to show this. I'm about to go eat me a nice salad, man. But I'm telling y'all, man, I have so much. And when I say a plethora, I got books from Oxford, Cambridge, everywhere. I got so much books about more science. I got books that cost stacks. I got Islamic books. I got Hadith books. When I tell people I'm just at a higher Islam, like I don't deal with nothing outside of myself. I'm sorry. I don't care how nobody feel. That's on you. You do your thing. I love you. I love you. All you gotta do is ask me what I represent. Can't be mad at me. I got the right to be whoever I want to be, and you do too. And the Islam that I'm under is different. I don't rock with nothing outside of myself. I don't teach my brother nothing outside of myself. We don't teach nobody nothing outside of ourselves. We all teach each other. And I'm telling you, man, it's a discipline. And like I said, none of this stuff is we can burn all this stuff up if we don't use these things and practice it. I'm telling you, this stuff is real application. And what you think is riches, you have no idea. That's what I tell people. When I say, what do you think riches is? And then I say, if that's what you think riches is, then that's on you. Because I guarantee you what I know riches is might not be what you know riches is. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Because I know riches is creating. I understand in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. When the creator creates, it's over. That's why I be telling people, brother should be using me up. That's why I said, man, a lot of my times I be, just kind of hurt because other nationalities be like, am I bothering you, Sheik? No, you're not bothering me. Especially if we doing business. And I love doing good business. I love doing good business. You know? Especially, and I noticed that most other nationalities into this. You know? I know other nationalities into this. I got a whole law library, man. And that's why I be telling people don't be dealing with nobody to use you as no test dummy for their shenanigans. because it sound good. Okay, yeah, time to go, man. I'm hungry. Just imagine if your kid had this and they going to school and so-called Black History come and all they writing about is some Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, some slavery, stupid stuff. They don't know about nothing. Imagine if your kid was able to write from the one war Tartarian and show all that stuff fake and show them from the archives where it's fake. You know what I mean? They'll be mad in all outdoors. Y'all want to see a picture? Oh, stuff. Let me show y'all this book. Dang. Let me see. They be having. Oh man, how can I? Cause there's a brother and it's two brothers. Well, actually, they all look like it's like it look like a couple of brothers. It's a tribute for the Negro. A tribute for the Negro. I'm talking about man. This was written in 1848. It got like 600 some pages. Man, it's a good read. I'm trying to show the picture of the brothers on the front, but page keep turning. But I'm referencing books, nobles. That's good pieces of history. Oh, this is a good one. This one, 1886. Yep, yep. It's one of a lot of my European Mason brothers because they love Albert G. Mackey. But I said, I'm sorry, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show you some way past that. But that's why I like to be able to speak on everything and be well versed on everything when I be dealing with, different people because I don't come from a biased perspective. I share everything. I share everything. Oh, this is my. Yeah, I got a lot of law. I got a lot of law cases and doc number, Free Information Act, habeas corpus case, quid pro quo. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Remember I be telling you about? I'll show y'all another old one. This is in 1880. Remember I be telling y'all about the obelisk? They said now. You know what the obelisk represent? A lot of times the obelisk is black. That's a whole other teaching. We'll teach that. Yeah, we definitely talk about that. But I just wanted to show a couple of books. I wish I can get with. I got a hoodoo friend too. Like in my talisman pouch, I got a lot of things in there. Well, y'all probably need to see that one. I'll just show y'all this one. It's a little nah. That'd be you wouldn't understand that. I'll show you this one though. And all it is Kemetic. You see, hermetic always kind of hermetic is connotated. Really, it's really the Kemetic science. But it ain't no disrespect. A person can call it what they want to, you know. I'm just coming with love. Y'all ever seen this? There's so much stuff, man. On the order of the Asiatic Brethren. It's just a little good read. But I challenge my brothers, once we learn and come together, man, and let all that religious dogma get away from us and come with brotherhood and love. Because that's one thing a lot of people, what nobody can say, they know brotherhood, they know synchronicity is the only way. Why? Because that's what they done. That's what's been done. And it just been recorded. Now, remember I showed y'all the same symbol And you see this symbol on another one, the light of Egypt. Remember I showed y'all that same symbol, that same symbology a second ago, but on another piece of wisdom. Remember? Just a second ago. You see that symbology, right? I just showed you that on another piece of wisdom. Remember? Remember I told you the Hermetic, really Kemetic, because Kemetic is Egypt. Remember? You see Luxor. See that? Then I go right back. The Light of Egypt, Volume 1, The Science of the Soul and the Stars. Same symbology. See that? You see the same symbology, right? If any of my muftis on here, when you start, I'm showing you things that connect. I did this in the university. It's nothing to be scared of. That's why I be laughing about my brothers. I share everything. I have a full library. And it just is what it is. The Light of Egypt, or The Science of the Soul and the Stars. All this stuff I got from the doctoral library. I should stay up in that mug, man. But it's so much. I even got like, I collected all the Rosicrucian manuals when I met my professor, which is he was from, he's, what, Germany. Sprechen die Deutsch. It's German. Yeah, Sprechen die Deutsch. Yeah, yeah, he's German. And yeah, he showed me a lot. That's why I said I give credit to where credit was due. And that's why I said in my academic endeavor, I meant I didn't meet no misnomer black professors. That was there at the source. I told everybody I met two European professors, and both one was a higher Mason because he a potentate. He was a Shriner, and then he became a Rosicrucian, and he was my professor, and he was a judge out here in Arizona. And so they go past. Remember I tell you about Pascal Beverly Randolph, even Adam Blavatsky, man. That they get credit to Noble Drew Ali. I guarantee you. When I show you, when I find a literature, I will show you. I probably done showed y'all enough books by now, especially your brother study. So this is the Morris Paradigm by Hakeem Bey. He got a whole bunch of journals, and Hakeem Bey is not melanated. Hakeem Bey is a European or a Jew. No disrespect. Just like Peter Lambert Wilson, that's their pen name, and Peter Moon that wrote Spondu Mysteries and all the other books about the Prophet. See, that's one of his books. Here go another one by Hakeem Bey. He got a plethora of them. I lecture every one of them. They be like, man, people be like, man, I ain't know, blah, blah, blah. I say, yeah, you'll catch people up lying when they saying this and that. It's the whole journals, and you can't change history. They look like the same people I be showing people when it's so in Iran on the walls. The same one they call from fake Anunnaki, which is the Iberian. That's why I said, it's just what it is, man. But I love y'all. Oh, here go my boy Layla Africa. A lot of books on with brothers definitely need these, or should at least be familiar. And like I said, brothers can get a collection from me. You can download them on your tablet, for your kids can have them, or you can go to Office Max and Staples and print them and bind them, or my movies are printed and bind it for you because they got the equipment to do it. And they'll do it for the same price. Office Max and Staples will do it for. Shoot. Or I don't know. Let me not say that, but I would hope they at least try to match that price. I forgot how much they do it for because I don't do it. I might have overspoke, but they can do it. I know one of my movies like, man, you don't know our prices. It's like I know a lot of imams. They're like, well, you just dealing with the soul of Islam, Sheikh. You just, and I said, it's all love. That's why I said people talk about what he told Muhammad to recite. No, it was to read. It was to read. It was to read, and understand the wisdom, and then use it in application. And the application, the holisticness of what? Using the skills. So I just wanted to show y'all a little bit, man. Like I said, I have so much, and I have so much to share with my brothers and sisters, but I hope everybody tap in, share this with your friends, man. Subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel for a book club, for adapt class every Saturday, and Sunday school every Sunday. But we have book club every Friday. And I hope, man, that you will become a student, maybe a member, if you have it on your heart, for you can deal with us privately, and you can come to our private meetings and our private classes, and you can really, really get some extra understanding that can maybe help you and your children, which I know it will. But we have the right to do things private, but I also like to share some things with the public. But with that being said, thank you all for your time. Tell your family you love them because we're in a trying time. And there's no excuse. Like I said, oh, I didn't offer this a book today. But if you ever wanted to read anything about something before then, the history, like the flood history previously, the Epic of Gilgamesh is a good read. You start looking at a lot of stuff, you'll be like, damn, Sheik, but the stuff looked the same. Just like they said that they were some aliens, some Anunnaki. They look like the Iberian. Yeah, we know. But that's a whole nother story. Peace, light, and illumination. Love y'all. I'm out.